right, everybody. Welcome back to a very fun, fantastic filled episode where I have not one, but two authors with me on Booking It with me, Jonna. I have the amazing Beau Lake, the author of Wolves of Wharton. Beau, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited for you to be here. And then we also have the author of the Cloudens Ring saga, right? Okay. J.M. Paquette or Jen Paquette, if you know her personally.
All good.
Jen, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm so excited. We were just talking about how they love my Chris Evans pillows in the back. So I'm like, instantly, these are my best friends. Um,
I don't know, you might need a couple more. It's looking a little lopsided. I
I
think you need
know.
at least two more of them.
I know.
Mhm.
Once I like, actually buy a house that has like a legitimate like home office that's not my dining room, they'll just be like all kinds of like Chris Evans pictures, just
Chris
like
Evans
all.
tapestries just on the wall.
Well, I
Mhm.
have, so I met Chris Evans like a year ago, and I, of course, I got my picture with him or whatever, and my boss, who I sent it to, printed me out like a 16 by 20.
Love this.
So it's hanging up like as soon as you come up the stairs in my house. So I have like the regular like 8 by 10, and then I've got the 16 by 20. And then I have the like 4 by 6 on my desk at work. And then I also printed out a 4 by 6 for my mom to have in her house as well.
I don't think you have enough printed out. I think you need some more.
And honestly, I used it for everything. Like that, when I got that picture, I was like, this is going on every party invitation. This is going on my Christmas cards. Like, this was the best day of my life.
The best. Chris and I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Literally.
Put a
It
little
probably was
hat on the Photoshop
like
hats on him.
it was gonna say
Mhm.
Merry Christmas.
Oh,
There it is.
Oh
mhm.
man, I threw a graduation party, and my graduation party was the picture of the on the invite. It was me and Chris Evans, and I put like little graduation caps on this.
That's perfect. You need the cutout, like the full size cutout of Captain America, or
I know, I know, I know. I don't. He'll just end up getting knocked over in the middle of the night and scaring the shit out of me when the cats knock it over. my
fair.
my friend has like a bunch of she has cutouts in her house, and I would go upstairs to go into her office, and there would be like a Captain America cutout, and it would scare the life out of me when I walked up the stairs. I'm like,
We in my office, I share an office, and my office mate loves Buddy the Elf. So we have a full size Buddy the Elf, and she propped it right in front of the door. So there I am. I got my bags and my keys and my coffee, and I open the door, and there's Will Ferrell's face, like stuff went flying.
so you get it. Yeah, it's a very stressful time, so I don't think I'm quite ready for the stand-ups yet, unless I want to just continue to induce heart attacks on myself, which I don't think my cardiologist would like at all. But we'll hold
Good
off for
stress
right now.
test.
Yeah, literally. It's like, is your heart working? Absolutely.
Chris Evans says it is.
Okay, so since there's two of you, which I never had two people on the podcast before, so it'll be a learning experience for all of us. Who wants to go first in talking about their book series?
I can go first, I
All
guess,
right.
since
Take it
Jen
away.
is not volunteering herself.
All right, Bo, tell me about the Wolves of Wharton.
So, The Wolves of Wharton is a six-book paranormal romance slash horror slash small town romance series. Uh, three of the books take place in modern day. Three of the books take place in 1940s, 1950s, and it follows like a whole wolf pack in this small town and like their romances, and there's queer romances in it, straight romances in it. We got everything going on, and I'm really proud of it. And the entire series is available now.
Ooh.
It has the best barista.
Yeah, he is pretty hot, Hunter.
Mhm.
because I like coffee, so I had to have a barista as my main character.
We love that.
Mhm.
Look, any of my female main characters that I write, they just read a lot of books.
I
Like, what
mean,
do you?
like Jen and I's book that we did together, we were like, we like food. Let's make her a food truck owner because we would
Mhm.
love to
Ooh.
eat food. So we
Oh,
talked a lot about shawarma while we were writing that book.
yes.
Well, tell me. Oh, the Shawarma Warrior King.
Like
Yeah.
Where the Warrior King.
Like
Okay.
plug comes out on Monday.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay, that's soon. Is this a why choose?
Yeah.
The reverse harem. Okay, I have two completed series out. One is Cloudon's Ring, epic fantasy D&D vampire love triangle,
Ooh.
happy ending, werewolves, witches, all the good things. It's a 4-book series. And then I also have Conjuring Fascination is my urban fantasy. It's a duology that is complete in and of itself. Vampires, demons, love triangles, happy endings. That's my jam. Um, but we just wrote One Mummy to Go, and it comes out in a few days, and it is glorious. So that's
I
another series.
I mean, literally the little like blurb on the website says a security guard, a mercenary, a lawyer, a thief, and a reanimated mummy walk up to a food truck.
And
That
here
basically
we are.
covers it. And they meet a really hot lady.
Mhm.
I mean, some of
This all,
these guys look pretty hot.
I mean, it started because there was that meme floating around where it was like my sexual orientation is the cast of the 1996 movie The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. And we were like, we need to write this as a reverse harem, but include the mummy. And then from there,
I mean,
we
Emotep was really hot. So we were like, we can make a mummy hot too. And he
all
is in all aspects of his, reincarnation. He's hot.
Okay, so give me the rundown on this book because it seems like there's a lot going on. I mean,
There's a
I
lot
mean,
going on.
there's what six main characters?
Mhm. Really,
Is it from one POV?
no, it's
No,
four
everyone gets POVs, I think. Yeah, everyone does.
Wow.
because we've got 7 people in 6 bodies.
I like
Spoiler.
how you gave her no context for that.
Someone is hosting.
Okay, okay. That's geez Louise.
So, Bo, do you want to do the rundown or do you want me to do it?
You do it because you do it so much better than I do.
Graphic sexual content. This sounds right up my alley.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's 5 dudes plus her. Like, how are we going to make that work?
Gosh.
Logistics. And Barbies.
Logistics.
There may or may not have been diagrams.
Yeah, there were.
Sometimes you have to figure out where hands are and, bodies are.
Who's standing where on her right? Okay.
Honestly,
But
that's the hardest part about reading a book where it's a why choose because there's so many people and I'm like, wait, how did we get how are we on the floor? We were just in the bed. Okay, now we're what happened?
oh, there is a scene that involves every single person in one scene, and there was a lot of making sure of hands and feet and other appendages were
But
appropriately
the
accounted
good thing,
for.
the good thing about two of us writing it is that we could go over it, as like you would write it, and then I would look over that part and be like, "Where did so and so go?" And then we would like talk it over to get them back in there because it's
Mhm.
really easy to lose somebody when there's that many of them.
Yes.
Yeah, I would think so.
But
That's
the story basically is the main character is Eliza Cunningham. So she's a British, a kind of posh British woman, and she was going to school to university to study anthropology, and then her parents died, and that kind of derailed her. And she was like, "I'm done. I'm not doing this." So she wanted to go as far as she could away from them. So she ended up in Egypt, where she bought an old food truck, and now um she has one of those friends that she's known since childhood. His name is Reese Aldrin, and he was one of those like, oops, I'm really drunk during college. one night stands, and he will not let her forget it because he still thinks they're going to end up together. But he ends up in charge of a dig in Egypt, and he hooks her up with the like food truck contract for that dig. So that's where it begins. Is she is working, and he never lets her forget that she's only there because he got her the connection. And then while she's there, she meets a sexy security guard who happens to be working the dig site. His name is Jack Manning, American, Texas, and they hit it off very well. And then some things happen, and she ends up accidentally down in the mummy's tomb one night, and some crazy things go on, and she's not quite sure what's going on. So she leaves, goes home, and talks to her neighbor, who happens to be an Egyptian lawyer. So she's like, I was just in a dig site. I'm pretty sure I messed something up. Or am I going to get like sent out of the country or whatever? Now, what she doesn't realize is that her neighbor has a huge crush on her, but won't move forward because he's part of a secret society whose job it is to maintain the supernatural on the down low. Because he knows that the mummy is reanimated, he calls in his mercenary friend Hawk, who is a Korean mercenary, to come in and protect Eliza. And then that's pretty much it for a little while until they realize that they are going to have to steal something. They're going to need an artifact, and they conveniently run into one of Eliza's old flames, who is Tia Carrera, the belly dancing thief who stole her passport back in college. And yeah, am I missing anyone, Beau?
I don't think it's hard to keep track of everybody, but there's Milfonos, the mummy, who is reanimated by accident. Did Eliza do it? I don't know. And then he decides that he's gonna hunt her down because he thinks she brought him back for some reason, and thinks she's a high priestess. So he goes after her. Her guys have to protect her, and then their relationship evolves from there. And he may or may not have his bodyguard inside of his head. So there's two guys in one body. Because magic.
Hijinks ensue.
Hijinks.
Shenanigans. That's just like a lot.
I know, it is a lot. It's a lot.
So much fun.
It sounds like a ton of fun. I won't lie. I mean, the amount of shenanigans that 6/7 people can get into, not even adding in the fact that they're all romantically involved.
Mm-hmm.
How many pages is this?
I don't know, 300 and change. It's like almost 100K.
Really? All of that, and it's only 300 and some odd pages?
258 in the hardcover.
In the hardcover.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, show off the hardcover, Beau. Show that it does the
You're gonna have to describe this for the audio listeners.
Her face describes it all. On the inside of the hardcover is the picture on the cover, but without any of the title.
Oh, that's my favorite thing right now with hardcover books. Oh my God. Okay, I need that. I'm gonna pre-order this right now. Wait, no, I get paid on Friday. I'm gonna pre-order this on Friday.
Add to cart.
Literally. Because what do you mean? That's wild. Okay, so anyway, I'm so sorry. My friend she's been buying a lot of books, and it's my fault. I will take blame for that, but I don't feel blamed. And she bought a book that I couldn't tell you what the name of the book is, but literally the whole, like, it's a hardback book, but the cover is like, it doesn't have the dust jacket. The cover is just like how your cover looks with like the words on it. And I was like, I have never seen such a thing. And that is amazing.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. Well, guys, one mummy to go, please. Shawarma Warrior King #1, coming out on November 25th. As of the day of recording of this podcast, which when it actually airs, it will actually be available for order, and I will be sure to add the link in the description. But I just feel like I need to take a second to just kind of,
Take it in.
Mhm.
because that's just so much work for one girl. Like, goodness gracious. I couldn't imagine.
She's really adventurous.
Mhm.
Look, I can't look. There ain't no shame in her game, okay? Because do you, girl?
She
Uh,
knows what she wants.
does anybody end up beating up this guy who's like being mean to her or whatever? Because like the guy who's like, oh, you owe me or whatever. I need somebody to beat him up. That's what it sounds like needs to happen. Or does he
We
get
can't we can't say. We
I
can't
will
does
say
say.
he
satisfaction is had.
does he
Yeah.
get
You'll be
murdered?
said.
Is there a murder?
You'll have to
There's
read and find out.
there's lots of murders. Just
There's a lot of murders.
mhm.
I kept adding murders, and Jen was like, "You need to stop. This is a romantic book. Stop putting murders in here."
Hey, look, just
But the
because
mummy needs to reanimate somehow.
Yeah,
Fix
he
the
did. He
body.
did do several murders.
oh like sacrificial murders or
Mhm.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Sucks the
mean,
soul out of people.
they
I mean,
they probably didn't need him.
fine. Fine.
Why would they? He
it,
needs to
it was
be
for
here.
it was for the greater good. He needed to go be with his lady. Okay.
Look, what a time to be alive. I love all of the representation here with the men. Like, there's all kinds of men. Like, just man, you got a white guy, you got an Asian guy, all these other, what are they, Egyptian men?
Egyptian, and then Tio is kind of vaguely like Mediterranean.
Yeah.
He never admits it. We don't know where he's from.
They all have such pretty hair.
Hmm.
Like, if they were real dudes, I just want to like do this to them. Just like, oh,
Hmm.
looks so nice.
Which
And this,
dude do you think is the hottest on the cover, though? Which
oof,
one do you think is?
oof. Okay, wait, okay,
Now
hold
you got to
on.
hold up the cover because I don't remember who's where.
Okay, let me see. I think the Asian guy. I think he's probably. I
Oh,
think he,
good choice.
I think he'd be
Mhm.
my go-to man. Like if I saw him
Mhm.
down the
He rides a motorcycle. Just saying.
ooh, yeah, he'd be the guy that I like is walking on the street, and I'd be like, "Damn, that guy's real hot," and then I would continue to keep walking because he would be definitely be too hot for me to talk to. Like he would have to come up and talk to me. That's how that would have to go.
So Bo and
Oh,
I love K dramas, so we had
Yeah.
to.
Mhm.
I haven't gotten into K dramas yet, but my coworker is super into them, and she tells me all about them. And she's always
So
like, "You love this? It's got a really hot guy." And I'm like, "Stop it! There's already so much that I need to
What
watch."
was our favorite one, Jen? I keep forgetting the name of it.
the K
The
drama
demon.
wasn't it? Was it
Yeah.
Black or was it Doom at Your Service?
Doom at your service.
That was so good.
What is that about, and where can I watch it?
Netflix. Doom at Your
Netflix.
Service is basically she has a really bad day at the very beginning, and she does one of those like I get drunk and I scream at the universe. I just I wish everything would die, and Doom, the embodiment of Doom, shows up and is like, I'm here at your service. Let's do this.
And he's very handsome.
Oh,
Very.
Very handsome.
we love a handsome villain.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's like enemies to lovers. It's very nice.
Ooh,
Slow
ooh,
burn, like all K dramas. When they
mm.
finally, of course, it's K drama. They're gonna kiss, but it's gonna be in like episode 16.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
all you're gonna get too. You're only gonna get a kiss. But you're ready for it. You're
You'll
waiting.
have long glances and touching of
Uh,
Oh yeah.
perhaps.
oh, just
Like
light
his
brushes
fingers
of the
brushing against
fingertips.
her knuckles. Yeah.
Mhm. Literally the opposite of One Mummy to Go.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you need that slow burn, you know?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Well, it says here that this is Shawarma Warrior King #1. So, is this going to be a series? How
Yeah.
many
How
how
many
many books?
did we do, 5 or 6, Bo? I think we
We
did.
outlined 5 books.
Did we do 5? Okay.
I think it's 5. And we are gonna start working on the book 2 in the spring, so it'll probably be out early 2026, probably,
Book
if we're
two.
if
If we
we're trucking.
follow the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's 5. Is it gonna be all the same characters?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Okay, 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 okay. Well, now I'm invested.
It seems like every character is going to kind of get their book and their arc. So you'll each one
Yeah.
of the guys it'll focus on because I'm pretty sure doesn't book 2 focuses on Milfanos, the mummy, right?
Yeah.
He's next. So we're gonna find out what's going on with him and why was he reanimated and where did he come from and all of this other
Why is
stuff.
his bodyguard living in his head?
Yeah, what's going on with Kazmut.
You know what? I'm just so invested now. Now I feel like I need to wait to buy the book because then you guys said the second book's not going to come out until 20, like maybe 26. I'm
No,
like,
no, because you could read it now, and then when the next one comes out, read it again, and then read the next one.
Mhm.
I
Because I
am
think
not. I'm not a book rereader.
Oh no.
I'm not either, honestly, but sometimes, not very rarely.
I reread
Well,
books
you
all
could read it and then you can listen to the audiobook later.
Ooh,
Then it's a different experience.
it is a
Mhm.
different experience. Got to have some nice male narrators.
Mhm.
6 different ones if you've got, that what is
That
one
sounds
of them?
expensive, Jonna. Like,
It does
that's a
sound,
lot
I
of
know.
people.
I know it does
We
sound
need
expensive. You just need one guy who can do like different voices,
that's yeah.
do like different accents.
Mhm.
Okay. What am I doing? I was clicking the back arrow and it took me all the way back somewhere else. And I was like, there's no,
Not that far.
Where am I?
literally. How difficult or easy, I guess, depending on how it went. Like, how was it writing together?
It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's how I got started writing, is co-writing with someone else. So it was kind of like a process I've already done. And it's kind of nice in a way because you're not doing this lonely thing of writing like by yourself in the night. Like, so it was nice to have someone to talk to about it. And while both of us hate to be organized and write an outline, we wrote one, and I think we were better for it, but it did suck at the time.
Yeah. Because I'm totally a pantser. Like I'll do an outline, but I never follow it, and neither do my characters. But for this, we had lots of meetings where we laid out like, okay, here's the story, and then who's gonna write what POV, what character. And then by the time we were ready to really start writing, we had like chapter 1 is this person, this happens, you're writing it. Chapter 2 is this person, this happens, I'm writing it. So we laid out all of it like that. And then it didn't matter who was ahead. Like honestly, Beau wrote most of it. And then I came in like on
No,
break and then filled in all the gaps. And then if
I
like
was
my
just on a
chapter ended up
roll for a little while. It was fine.
I mean, you were way ahead. Like you had 3/4 of it done, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna work on it. And then I had it
You're like,
like
I'll get to chapter 3 soon.
yeah. But then I mean that's how I dump when I write. So I just like
Yeah.
got in there and I wrote. But it's not, as Beau said, it's not intimidating because there's 2 of us. So I'm not writing
Hmm.
100K. I'm only writing, 45 or 50. So it's
Yeah.
not that much.
I
Um,
think the hardest part was getting our tone right, because I
Hmm.
feel like we were worried about having too, I don't want to say having too much fun, but I didn't want it to get silly. But
Hmm.
I mean, the premise in itself is kind of silly. So we had to like figure out where that line was of what is comedy and what is serious and what is too far to push something. So it was kind of like that we had to like put bumpers on for ourselves of how far we could go either direction, because I always wanted to make it really dark, and often Jen had to be like, stop that. Like, take that out. It's too much. And so it was mostly that. Like, I think our writing styles are pretty similar, and we're good at matching tone with each other. But that did take a little bit of time. So it's kind of like the outline was the worst part, and I'm not looking forward to doing that part again. Because it was
No,
hours upon hours upon hours of time.
but the meme game was on point. And
Oh,
yeah,
it was so
so
good.
I
Yeah.
still I have like hundreds of mummy gifts and lovely pictures. We made a Pinterest board to
Yeah.
all our boys.
I love that. That's so fun. I mean, maybe I should write with another person. I don't know, because I guess since you guys have a similar writing style, I guess that probably does make it easier. But sometimes you don't have like Bo said, she's like, I'm getting a little dark, and Jen's like, excuse me, turn the lights on in here. Stop that. So I don't know. I guess I always think that it's harder for two people, like people to work together on like the same project, especially if you're writing like different parts. Because like, how are all of these moving parts going to come together in like one big finished form?
I kind of feel like it's a lot about trusting the other person and knowing the
Mhm.
other person well. Because we work together and we're friends, and I think if we didn't have that like basis to start, it would have been more difficult. But
Mhm.
because we were, already pals, we could just be like talk it out in a constructive manner instead of like trying to get to know each other because we already knew each other.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah. And I think having alternate POVs, I think also helped keep
Mhm.
it consistent because I was like, okay, so I just have to get kind of the voice and feel of these guys. And then she has the voice and feel of those guys. And then they were similar, but unique enough to have their own
Yeah.
distinction. And then, I mean, it was fun. The first time that like we sat down and read the whole thing, I was like, this worked really well. Like it just look at us.
Good job,
It's
us.
together.
They say go
So
team.
yeah,
Oh man, I love that. I mean, that sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like it was a good bonding experience for you guys.
definitely.
I love that. And then there's gonna be more.
Mhm.
Ooh, we're so excited. So besides the second Shawarma Warrior book, what are you guys working on separately?
Do you want? I'm working on book
Whoever.
two. I have a Rockstar Fairy book that just came out called Heart of Stone.
Ooh.
That is literally Rockstar Fae Dragon Shifters. So I'm in the middle of book two on that, and it is delightful.
Alright. Oh, she says. What
Also,
kind?
love triangle, probably why choose.
You have to always have a love triangle, Jen. What's the
I
point of
do love
writing it if
triangles and
there's
happy
not one?
endings.
Jen, sounds like you have a type.
I do always. I'm consistent.
I love this cover for Heart of Stone, though. It's so pretty.
It is
Yeah,
really pretty.
and then same thing on the inside. If you take off the hardcover, it just has the picture of it. And
Why do you guys want me to record?
maybe, oh, I just have the paperbacks in here. So.
Oh, but it's still so pretty.
And then I'm such a nerd. Like, I mean, it's fantasy, so you do a map, right? But it's rock stars, and I kept screwing up their tour schedule, so I made one of like where they're going and when. And then I have some of their like like the posters for the band
I love that.
because I
That's
kept forgetting what day it was.
that's so fun though. I will tell you, I will out myself right now. If there's a map in a fantasy book, I don't even look at it.
I mean,
I honestly don't either, really. Like, I'll glance at it once or twice, but I'm like, this is already going to be hard enough to figure out. It's like that meme where they're like, I'm reading a fantasy book, and they're like, we're going to blah, blah, blah. And there are the blah, blah, blahs there from the land of blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, you don't know what's going on for the first, like,
Yeah,
200
and
pages.
like I'm not gonna be like I'm like, oh, they're in this place and now they're going to this place. I'm not gonna like go back to the map and be like, oh, well, it's like this way. Like I'm not gonna do that. Like, oh, this is so pretty, but keep it moving, you know?
To be fair, if they had that in Lord of the Rings, like, their whole,
they
do they
do.
have the whole journey tracked
Yeah,
out?
every
Because
day there's annals in the back. Every day you can see who is doing what and where. I'm a Lord of the Rings is my love. I teach classes on it, so having a map and an annals section, and yeah,
And an
this one doesn't have
appendix and
family trees. By book 3, there will be family trees because my other series has
oh,
like all of the history and because nerd.
I mean, sometimes family trees, I can definitely get behind those 100%, especially with books that are like, okay, this person was married to this person, but then this person died, so then they remarried this person, and then they did this and they did that, and this cousin is 3 times removed, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. Who's in the book? So I can
Mhm.
totally get behind family trees 100%, but like maps of going places, I'm just like, I don't care. I'm just here for the ride. Oh man. So the does the Rockstar Fairy Tales, does that follow the same characters throughout the series that you're gonna have, or is it gonna be different? Okay. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, so it's the written from the it's not first person, but basically the main character is Margot Tanner is the stage manager for this band, and then she finds out she meets a sexy guy at a bar named Tobin, realizes that she's Faye and he's Faye, and realizes that the lead singer she's had a crush on for 8 years is also Faye, a dragon. Um, and then hijinks ensue and she has to figure out this new world and everything else. So book 1 is about her, book 2 is about Ash, the lead singer, and then book 3 is all about Tobin. So
You guys are just gonna make me buy all these fantasy books, aren't you?
look at you outlining, Jen. Good job.
that's as far as I got. But
You're
I
like,
was
this
writing
book's about
last
this
night and I
guy. I
was
don't
like, oh,
know.
we're doing this. I thought this wasn't going to happen for a really long time. No, we're doing it right now. Okay, got it. My characters beat me up.
Look, they said we need to get out of your brain and onto the page, okay?
Right.
That's why I've been writing the same book for a year. They keep doing stuff. Like, I'm like,
They
why are you
keep
doing that? I didn't tell you to do that.
they do what they want, okay?
Hmm.
I've learned. Characters will do what they want. Doesn't matter what fate you gave them. They're like, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do this.
I'm going to have a sandwich.
Literally. I was like, well, I don't want you to have a sandwich right now. Too bad, I'm hungry.
Mhm.
Characters, even though they're fake, they're real. Doesn't matter.
Mhm. For sure.
Uh, Bo, what are you working on right now?
I am currently working on my first horror novel
Ooh.
called High Strangeness, and it's about it. I'm still writing it, but it's about a group of teenage girls who may or may not have been abducted by aliens and their relationships with their parents when they come back. And maybe their parents have a little alien related secret. We'll find out. And hopefully that will come out or late next year, I
Oh,
think. We'll see.
that's tea.
I know.
Girl. Look, you guys, you guys are gonna be getting some of my money, which is
Give us your money.
it's great for you, but it's terrible for my wallet. And terrible for my bookshelves because I'm running out of space.
But good for your soul.
Yes,
Yeah.
very good. Very
In
good.
your entertainment.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, no, I just finished a book the other day, and then I DNF'd the book today. Like I was in the middle of reading it, and I was like, nope, I'm done. I was like, I quit. I'm not doing this anymore.
I've only just started letting myself do that. Like I would, persevere and be like, I must finish this. But there's so many books out there. Maybe that one's just not for me. Maybe I'm gonna find a different one that is for me. So I
Yeah,
just let it go, and
yeah,
it's freeing.
Same.
yeah.
I think
No.
KU did broke me of it. I was like, I'm not committed to reading the rest of this if I'm not into it, because there are millions more.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Kindle Unlimited has me so spoiled when it comes to like DNFing books. Because like if I have like the physical book, I'm like, oh, but I can power through. Like I can do it. I can do it. And then but KU's like, I mean, you could just send it back and never see it again. And I'm like, you're right. I sure can. That's
Mhm.
exactly what I did today. I was like literally was right in the middle of like a sexy scene, and the characters were like saying all these words that I didn't like. I was like, no thanks. I quit. I told my friend, I was like, I'm DNFing this book. She was like, why? And I was like, because they're saying things that I don't like. And then she
What's
asked me, she
that?
was like,
There's a book, Naughty Words for Nice Writers, of different vocabulary to use. It's a good
well,
time.
it was like not to get like too into it, but like it was like a weird like not not that praise kinks are weird. That's not like that's not kink shaming anybody. But the girl had like a praise kink, but like she was calling her the guy that she was sleeping with daddy, and then he called her little one, and that threw me off.
Oh,
I was like,
I
I was
know
like,
that's a thing, just not my thing.
yeah, I was like,
yeah.
this isn't for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and just DNF it. And then I started something else, and I don't remember what it's called, but it's got my interest a little bit more.
There.
Um, what are you guys reading right now besides your own
I
book?
am. Oh, we don't look at that because once we start looking back at our books, we're like, oh, we should have done this instead.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So right now I am listening to the audiobook of Stephen King's Pet Cemetery, and I am reading um, a Chuck Wendig book. The Book of Accidents is what I'm reading right now on
Okay.
my Kindle.
Okay.
I just had to look it up. I'm listening to The Witch Collector by Clarissa Weeks. I was like, I have no idea who wrote this book, but it's pretty good. And then for reading, I'm an editor, so I'm editing Dominic Ashton's book, and it's delightful. The newest Steel and Thunder series,
Ooh,
it's like book 5. But
nice. Okay. That sounds fun. I love books. So, are you guys clearly you're audiobook people and Kindle people? Do you like hardbacks and paperbacks? Like, which one do you prefer, hardback or paperback?
I love a hardback just because it looks so nice on your shelf, but I'm not much of a physical book reader just because my eyes aren't that great, so it strains my eyes. So I like to read on my Kindle, but I also still buy the physical copy to put on my bookshelf so I can look at it. But it just sits there, the
It's
core
your
now.
it's your trophy collection.
Yeah.
I get
I
it.
love that. That's what I'm
It's
going to tell my husband. This is my trophy collection.
look,
These are my trophies.
yeah,
I love that.
I like read this meme the other day, and it was like, can you believe that we read books? It's like we're just staring at dead trees with print on them and we're hallucinating. And I was like, wow, that is really mean of you to say. And it's like, and then we're done. Then when we're done, we put his dead body on the shelf and just look at it. I was like, why would you say such a thing to me?
Accurate.
Yeah, that belongs in a horror novel.
Literally. I was like, but you know what? I'll enjoy them while I have them, and everyone can fight over them when I die. Mm, when did you guys start like separately? When did you start writing like and you decided that you wanted to be like an author and what finally pushed you to publish?
So I started writing like an actual book, not like, an assignment,
Hmm.
was in middle school. I started writing a children's book about unicorns that I never finished. But I had the bug at that point. And then in high school, I started writing uh kind of a something based on the mummy actually, which is really funny that we got here eventually. And I wrote the entire thing in a notebook that I covered in pictures of Brendan Fraser so that I could look at him whilst I wrote it because God, he was hot in that movie. And so
We
I
love Brendan
carried
Fraser,
a notebook around with his face on it for a good year.
as you should.
Um, Never finished that book. But then I started writing professionally. I have a degree in English, so creative
Uh,
writing, blah blah
me,
blah, did all that.
hey, me too.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
But everyone still told me writing isn't a career that you can have.
Hmm.
And so I kept trying to do other things. Like I got a master's in psychology. I tried these other career paths and decided I hated all of them. Was not happy. I like tried to do teaching for a while, didn't like it. Tried to do research psych, didn't like it. So then I was like, I'm going back. I'm going back to writing. So I started co-writing with a friend. We were writing male romances. We put out 3 books, and then I started writing my own one, the first Wolves of Wharton book, and then I got published, and then the rest is history.
What about
I
you,
al-
Jen?
I started writing in like, elementary school, middle school. Basically, I remember the first real story that I wrote was a complete ripoff of The Lost Boys because I was 11. So, but I had 4 boys who were named after liquor because that was so cool when I was
Oh,
in sixth
so
grade.
cool.
I had Jim Beam and Johnny Walker. Um, yeah, on a
I love
typewriter.
it.
Old. And I have terrible
Oh, I
handwriting.
had like a shitty word processor that I was writing on.
Yeah, I have somewhere probably in the attic. I have like these old typed pages of like really really ridiculous cheesy vampires. Anyway, so I wrote, kind of off and on, and then also English major. When I was in grad school, I could take an elective, and I took fiction one, and it just happened. I was like talking to the teacher outside of regular class, and I had mentioned, I had written this fantasy story, and he was like, "Well, you have a semester, and now it's graded. You should write. You should finish the book. You have 3 months. Write the book." And I did. And then the next semester, I took fiction too because I had another elective, and I was like, I don't need it, so I wrote book two. And then I got, I had to do a dissertation, all that other stuff. I finally finished school, and my day job, I do teach. I teach at a college, and I edit also. So in between all of that, in 2020, when COVID happened, everybody was home. So we started meeting online to just get together and write. So we had like office hours writing time at night. And that forced me to like really finish book 3. And then all of a sudden I had a whole series good to go. And then I got published, and here we are. I still meet people at night to write.
That sounds fun. Told me if you're planners or pantsers, and it sounds like you guys are both pantsers, unless you have to
Yeah,
be planners.
unless we have to be, then we'll begrudgingly plan.
That's me. I'm like, I'll start it out, and then then I'll like get real into it, and I'm like, now I have to actually like plan this out, like, because where are these characters going? Such a hard
Mhm.
time. Such a difficult life to live. Um, what do you guys do when you get stuck?
I take a chunk of it out, put it aside in another document, and then I start from where I was stuck, or like start like a couple pages before I was stuck. See if I can get out of it being stuck. And if I can't, then I put that part back in and I think of another way to get out of it. Like, I think there's a line from Stephen King where he's like, you have to kill your darlings. You can't be beholden to any piece of your plot or your characters.
Hmm.
If something's not working, you got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important to don't throw it in the trash, put it in another document. And then maybe later you'll be like, oh shit, I can use this for something. Like I have a document that's just full of crap from books I've written, and I look back at it, I'm like, oh, this would be really good in this other book. And it's kind of like a present to future me.
I love that.
I like it. Yeah, I do. Honestly, if I get stuck, I just switch because I'm usually like I have 2 or 3 ideas cooking at a time. So I'll just work on a different one. And then if I'm like, no, no, this has to get done because it actually has a due date, then I try to chase it back to where I lost it. And
Mhm.
same thing, I copy and paste. I'll move everything into a different document and keep it for later. And then just start over.
I might try that. I've never thought about that before. I usually just like leave the document and then don't go back to it for 6 months.
And you can always name it something fun too. Like my throwaway document is called the graveyard, and I just, it's
I love
fun to
it.
throw things there.
It's fun to throw things in the graveyard.
Love it.
Like, get out of here.
Well, we'll start with the book that you guys co-wrote. This is a question that I've been asking everybody. Perfect world, unlimited budget. If you're if the Shawarma Warrior was to be made into movie or TV series, whichever you prefer, who would you have playing your characters?
All I can think about is
Now.
bringing the whole cast of the Mummy back
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
putting them in new
Literally.
roles.
Except Benny would be Tio and not be an asshole. Well,
Yeah,
not as much of an asshole.
he's a little bit of an asshole, like,
Yeah.
but in a catty way, so we like it.
Caring way. And he has the flowing locks.
Oh yeah,
We love the flowing locks.
I think Brendan Fraser could do it still. I think he'll be fine.
Brendan Fraser can do whatever he wants, okay? He's the
Oh
best.
yeah,
Yeah.
he really can.
I love him so much. I want to meet him and just hug him and be like, I love you so much. You're my fave.
Can you put the shoulder holsters back on, please? Because I'd like to see
Literally.
you in them.
Mm-hmm.
Just one time for the one time, you know? Like we don't
Yeah.
have to just for this one picture.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Beau, who would you have playing your characters in the Wolves of Wharton series?
Oh my goodness. One of the later books, I did kind of go into it with actors in mind, and I remember it was Robert Pattinson, Zendaya,
Ooh.
God, I think Kit Harington from Game of Thrones, and I can't remember who else because it was one of the later books. So I think it was like Robert Pattinson and Kit Harington were like together.
Love that.
She said they were like
Together, in all the ways. They're holding hands, doing other stuff.
holding hands and then casually other stuff, you know?
Other
Besides holding
stuff,
hands. You know, stuff that you do with your friends or whatever.
Your
Cool.
friends or the guy who's a werewolf who lives down the street,
Your friends that you hold hands with, whatever you do with them, you know? Cool. All right, Jen, what about Cloudon's ring?
Oh God. See, my brain was on Heart of Stone, and that's what I was populating.
Oh, we can do that one.
Let's do that. That would be Timothy Chalamet, would be my lead singer.
How did I know that you were gonna say Timothy Chalamet? Like,
I mean,
I
he is
don't.
really hot.
Right?
You think I don't know? He's okay. He's just such a little baby.
He's like a little rat boy, and I love a rat boy. Like
That's lead singer, like just
mhm.
lead singer vibes, Jim Morrison vibes.
He just needs like the real long hair, you know, for like the rock star, you know. I get it. I get it. Well, then who would be your what's her name?
My lead would be Margot. Oh God. You just said Zendaya, but she's fucking perfect for everything.
We love
Yeah,
Zendaya.
she could play any role ever.
Right? Yeah. I'm gonna stick with that.
All right, so we got Zendaya, we got Timothy Chalamet, so Margot as Zendaya as Margot,
Mm-hmm.
Timothy
Oh God,
Chalamet as Ash.
who would play Tobin? I need tall and skinny and like slightly scoundrel. My brain is going Harrison Ford because he is fucking Han Solo. But uh young, I'm old, so
But
that's
but what age range of
like
Harrison Ford are
really,
we doing?
really young, like
Hey,
first
So Han Solo.
New Hope, like
all
by
of
or
them.
from Solo. You know who would play him? Is oh my God, who played Solo?
Oh,
Was
that
it Taron
guy.
Egerton?
That guy.
Oh no, wait.
Who was it?
Oh my God, I'm gonna look it up right
I'm
now.
looking it up
Got Woody
too.
Harrelson. That's not him. What is
No.
Out
his
at Alden
that
Air,
guy? Alden.
Air
I
Einrich.
like
I
I
don't
knew know that, but him.
yeah, him. I don't
Because
know how
he's
to say his
The
last
one who
name.
looks like Harrison Ford. That one.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember people talking about how much he looked like Harrison Ford when they cast him. Yeah, okay, okay. All right, all right. I'm picking up what you're putting down here. Okay, okay, okay. What a fun cast that would be.
Mhm.
Goodness. I haven't actually
It
seen
does
that
sound like a
guy.
really attractive cast.
I mean,
Good
they're all
work.
They're
Faye.
rock stars. They have to, right? They're
You gotta be
fake.
hot.
They're rock stars. You got to be hot, you know? That's just
Mhm.
like, like the whole wolves thing. Like, you got to have hot wolves.
Yeah, if you have like an who would want to read a story about an unhot wolf?
Literally.
They have to be hot.
They have to be.
Fire.
That's why they had Taylor Lautner in the Twilight movies, obviously.
With his shirt
Yeah.
off most of the time.
Most of the
Which,
time, yeah, he was shirtless.
look, eighth grade, between like eighth and 12th grade me was here for it the whole time. Okay? She was here for it.
I was
She was,
there for, but I kept like I'm knew he was in the Shark Boy and Lava Girl movie.
oh, but I love Shark Boy and Lava
So I
Girl.
was always like, oh, that's the same kid though.
I wasn't a big Twilight person because I was like, this is kind of lame. But Jen and I have talked many times about how much we like the Vampire Diaries and how hot all the dudes in the Vampire Diaries are. And I think if we're gonna do hot vampires or hot werewolves, we're gonna pick from there, not from Twilight.
Gotta be Damon. Always
Under-
Damon.
Damon.
Understandable. What about, okay, did you guys ever watch Teen Wolf?
Mhm.
Okay.
I didn't. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good, but like I stopped watching because they did like a resurgence or whatever of it. It was like a Teen Wolf movie, and I never actually got to the movie, but I stopped watching the show after, God, what season was it? It was whatever season it was where they were like going off to college, and like the end of one of the episodes was like the perfect ending. They were just like driving off of their like high school campus, and they're like, "We're going to college," and I'm like, "Oh, the show's obviously over, right?" No, it's not. It's
But
not
do
over.
they
Mhm.
I'm really picky when it comes to werewolves. So are they like wolf looking werewolves? Or are they like in the original Teen Wolf movie where it was Michael J. Fox in like has a fur?
I don't think they fully. I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I ever saw them like. Well, maybe I did. It's been so
I'm
long
trying.
since I watched it.
I know. I'm trying to remember. I want to say it was like they did
I think they only ever did like their face and like
the fangs
and
and
their
stuff.
like claws. I don't know if they ever actually fully like transformed into like a full wolf.
See, that would upset me.
But I'm
Because
not
I'd be like, if
positive.
you're gonna do it, why not do it all the way? Why
Yeah.
are we doing like when Michael J. Fox plays basketball in the movie and he has just a furry face? He looked more like Chewbacca than he looked like a werewolf.
Right. Right. I'll just say like Tyler Hoechlin, that's a real hot man. Ian
He is really
Bowen,
hot.
that's also a really hot man. Like I'm watching Teen Wolf for the content. Hot men is hot men is the content.
You're like, it's for the plot. Hmm.
Definitely for the plot. Looks at Ian Bowen like, you know,
Total character development.
so
I
much
mean
character
that
development.
that was Vampire Diaries after a while because the plot kind of goes weird. So you're just like, I'm gonna
Mhm.
just look at Steven Sommerhalder for a while. That's
Oh,
fine.
Ian Somerhalder, so hot. Oh my
No,
God.
hot.
Isn't he married to Nikki Reed
Yep.
Yeah,
from Twilight?
yes.
And I'm like,
Mhm.
Oh, we
like
brought it all the way back around.
And in Vampire Diaries, he's reading Twilight, and then later on, he's reading 50 Shades of Grey because he's always got a book when he's in the background.
I love that.
He
I,
says at one point, "I don't understand. This Edward guy is so whipped." Like,
bro, he is. I'm like, bro, calm down. I did listen to what was it? Midnight Sun when it came out
mhm.
because that bad boy. I tried to read it, but I couldn't. The voice that was in my head was not the voice that was coming out of the book when I was reading it, so I had to listen to it. And let me tell you how hard I was sobbing while I was at work listening to it.
we so I have kind of a funny story. It started with 50 Shades of Grey, where we were all hanging out one time and it came up, and I don't know how it started, but we started reading it out loud and it was hysterical. And then when Midnight Sun came out, we read it out loud, like to each other. Like we would get together, they would drink wine. I don't drink, but they would drink wine, and we had cheese balls. And whenever it was really bad, we would throw cheese balls. And like Midnight Sun reading, it was so funny. Like we would just
I
trade on.
was
You read a paragraph, you read for a little while. It was hysterical.
I was
Look,
stuck in a
shades of gray. She
car
looks up
from
through her eyelashes every time. She looks
yeah,
up through her eyelashes.
I hate that
Yeah.
line. Like how does that work?
You
You
have to
know,
eat, Anastasia.
dude, I literally hate the line like whenever I'm reading a book where it's like like would grind his teeth together. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're grinding your teeth? That
He
sounds
needs
like
to
it
go to the
hurts.
dentist.
Like, right. I'm like it's like I ground my molars. Do you know how bad that hurts, my guy? Like,
Like it should be like he clenched his teeth or something.
right.
Grinding
Like,
your teeth is like a whole other vibe.
yeah. Or like I clench
I
my teeth, I
listened
almost
I
crack the
listened to
molars.
Midnight Sun in a car and from Orlando, Florida, up into North Carolina with a friend that Jen and I share. And I was forced to listen to it for 10 hours. Was it good? No. Was I engrossed? A little bit, because I had nothing else to focus on for 10 hours. But how angry I was at Edward Cullen,
What's
because
really great,
he's
like
so bratty.
He's so
because
angsty.
read it out loud. I had Twilight out while she was reading Midnight Sun, and then we would pause and be like, okay, so in Twilight, it's Bella's point of view. So you get all of the, it's literally same conversation. So you get what she's thinking, and then you get what he's thinking, and then you get. So I was like, this is kind of well done. It's that like Jennifer
Yeah.
Armentrout does the same thing where she goes back and retells like the first book. I don't know if you're reading Blood and Ash, but book five, book five is like retelling book from the other character's point of view. So you're like,
Got
oh, I
it.
remember this conversation. That's what you were thinking. Okay. So I
Mm.
think those are fun.
Yeah, I think that's what it because it had been so long since I read the first Twilight book. I mean, I was in like, middle school, high school when they came out. So like, you know, like, oh God, I don't even want to talk about it. Um, but like when Midnight Sun came out, I was like trying to remember like all of the scenes where he's talking about Bella and then Bella was like thinking about him. And I was like, oh, I was like, so all those times that he was gone and these things were happening, I was like, I
He
get
was in
it.
Alaska
Right?
for some
Just
reason.
buried under the snow like a sad boy. And I'm like, okay, me too, me too, me too. Sometimes I also
Mhm.
just want, what are you doing? Sorry, my cat was being cute. Um, but yeah, no, he's just like freaking under the snow like a sad boy. And I'm like, sometimes I also want to bury myself under snow, but I just feel like maybe that's not the best option. You could, I don't know, have a conversation. Maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, he didn't. He didn't. He doesn't like conversations. He likes to mope
All
and be
right.
sad.
He literally just like hates himself so much. I'm like, why don't you just have someone murder you, bro? Like if you're so sad. Like
Ask
it's
one
not
of these
that
other vampires to help you out.
literally. Like you don't think life is worth living, and then you find your person, and then you're like, but I can't be with her. What do you mean? She literally wants to be a vampire to be with you forever, bro. You're being stupid, is what you're doing. And that's why we
But if he just goes with it, there won't be 4 books. They have to
true,
stretch it out.
They could get
true.
together. See, this is the happy ending person in me. I want them together to face the struggle together in books.
Yeah,
I like those kind of stories.
yeah. No, I mean they definitely went through it. Okay, they went through it. I will say though, and if anybody hasn't seen Twilight, like it's been 20 years, so like I don't spoiler, I guess. Um, but like in what was it the first Breaking Dawn movie? Did you guys see the movies?
Mhm.
I think it was it the first one where they ripped Carlisle's head off?
Mhm.
Isn't it the
I like
second
the
one? Like,
second
isn't it
one
the
when
yeah?
they have the
Because
whole
it's the
battle. It
last
doesn't happen.
fight.
Yeah.
Dude, when
I
I
love to
tell
watch TikToks of people watching that for the first time, and they like
bro,
Like,
lose their
what?
mind because they're like, Carlisle's dead, and then like
bro.
everything's fine, and then they're pissed off that he's fine.
Dude, I literally was so mad that that whole fight scene was like just a vision. But like, man, when they had like, because those movies would always come out around my birthday, so in like November, and like at the beginning of November too, because my birthday is November 10th, and so they would come out on like the 11th or the 12th. So there's like always right around my birthday, and my mom would get me the midnight release passes for my birthday, so I could go, and so I would take like two of my friends, and we're like going to see the midnight release because we're big kids. And I just remember being in the theater and seeing Carlisle's head being ripped off his body. And I was like, it was like the most traumatizing experience of my life. And then it's like fade to black. And I'm like, what do you mean? We're fighting. What's going on? And then I had to wait a whole another year for the next movie. I'm gonna go rewatch Twilight, I think.
It's a good time. I mean, it is what it is. It's good for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was like I can like look back on it and be like, I loved it. Like, I still love it because like that was a really big like part of me like growing up or whatever. But like
Mhm.
you couldn't tell me shit when we were kids. Like that was literature, okay? That was fucking Shakespeare to me. I was like, don't you dare talk about Stephanie Meyer. How dare you? But now I'm like, could have been better, but it was great
I,
at the
I
time.
did read her other books, and she's actually pretty good. Like she has The Chemist and all. They're good books. Like she can
Like
write.
she's improved
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
Mm,
But I mean, Twilight is what it is. It's vampire
yeah,
romance,
yeah,
teen YA. Like it nails
yeah,
everything.
It's
I know Bo
iconic.
has feelings.
It's okay. I get a lot of shit for loving Twilight from all of my friends. They're like, I have some friends who are also like real Twihards, and then I have some friends that are like, I can't believe that you love Twilight so much. And I'm like, well, you're still my friend, so you can fight me about it if you want to. But I will die on the Twilight Hill because I loved it. What? We talked about books and things. What authors or books would you recommend for other people to read besides your own books? Beau, I feel like you're gonna say a Stephen King book.
Oh shit! You caught me. As I'm literally looking at a Funko Pop of Stephen King right
Look
next to
at his
me, I was like,
little glasses.
look at this little man. Look at him.
Love it.
He comes with his little dog too. Like
Oh my God.
so cute. Um, I would say Stephen King, and if you, because I'll always say Stephen King because he's my boy. But if I wasn't gonna say him, I would say,
She looks at
I'm
her
looking
bookshelf.
at my, I'm looking at my bookshelf right now. I mean, it depends on genre. Like,
Yeah.
so it's a big question, but always Stephen King. He's the
Fair.
ultimate.
He is king, literally.
He is king. Mhm.
What
Exactly.
about you, Jen?
I would also say Stephen King, but um
But
I
which
would
Stephen? Oh, this is a good question. Which Stephen King book, though, would you
see
Okay.
my
recommend?
all-time favorite book is actually The Talisman, which is Stephen King and Peter Straub co-written.
Mm.
Ooh.
Because I love that coming of age, hero's myth, hero journey, all the things. So The Talisman is still my number one book. But for reading books, honestly, and I mean, I love Tolkien and everything, but I think a lot of people know about it but haven't actually read it.
Mhm.
So, like, really read Lord of the Rings, and it teaches you about world building and background. So it's like I feel like Stephen King gives you narrative, plot, character, pacing, like all the things on the surface you need to tell a story, and then
Mhm.
Tolkien gives you like the mountain underneath. So with between the two of them, I feel like you learn a lot about style, different styles.
Okay. Well, Beau, which Stephen King book do you want people to read?
Oh my goodness. That's a tall order. I would say one of his short story collections because then you get a whole bunch of different Stephen King vibes in one book. My favorite one is the one that has Secret Window in it and the Sundog, but I can't remember which one that
Is
is.
that Skeleton Crew or no? I keep thinking of The Mangler. Did you read The Mangler? That story
You know,
haunted me. It's about a dryer that like has it's like a laundromat, and the equipment, someone cuts themselves and then it likes blood, so it starts pulling people into like the laundromat, like the drying equipment, the
I
Mangler.
love that that was like a concept that he was like, you
Because
know what?
he worked in a laundromat overnight, so it's like, what if this machine started eating people?
Well, now I don't want to go to the laundromat.
Oh,
Mhm.
the collection I'm thinking of is Four Past Midnight, and it has
Oh,
Secret Window, has the Sun Dog. I really like the Sun Dog, and I think it's one of my favorite Stephen King's because it has really R.L. Stein vibes to it, but like grown ass R.L. Stein, like not for
Grown.
kids. Grown. He is
Ooh,
grown.
he is an
Love it.
adult.
He is an adult. It is very scary.
Very scary.
Very scary. Oh, and there's something about a psychic girl. I can't remember what story that one is though. But oh, it's the Langoliers. I'm thinking of the Langoliers. See, it has all the hits in it. Langoliers, Secret Window, Fun Dog, something else. You know.
Was it
And that
Skeleton
other
Crew
story.
had the raft? No, you know what? The Mangler was in Night Shift, and Skeleton Crew had the raft. That's what Creepshow did. Was Skeleton Crew?
I
Wow.
love that we just blasted all the listeners with titles of Stephen King stories to look up.
They're so good.
So, if you guys learned anything, it's to read a Stephen King book.
It's true. You know, pick up our book and then also pick up a Stephen King book while you're out.
Yeah.
And if you're a
Just
writer,
because.
make it on writing.
Yes, I have my copy on my desk because it is important. Sometimes if I'm stuck on something, I'll open to a random page and see what he's talking about and see if it will help.
One more question. Well, two more questions technically, but the last question is just me asking you. Well, I don't know. I'll cut that out because I don't actually know. This is gonna be the last question. What advice do you have for people who are aspiring writers?
I'll go first.
Go
Your
first.
story matters, and it deserves to be told. I don't care, if people are like, "Well, it's all been written, it's all been said. Why would anyone care what I have to say?" Your story. You're the only you, and you're the only one who could write it the way that you would write it. So write it. We need it.
I like that. That's good advice, Jen. My advice would be don't just think about what you want to write about. You got to actually write it. If it's just in your head, it's just in your head and no one will see it. And no matter how bad the first draft feels, the first draft is just for you. No one's going to see it. They can see the second or third draft, but the first draft is just for you and it's just for fun. That's what I keep telling myself.
That's really
Hey,
good advice.
it's okay if it's not great. We'll be fine later.
Love that.
She said the first draft is it's just a joke. It's just jokes.
It just
jokes.
vibes. Just write your vibes down and then you'll figure it out later.
Just write
You'll
your
connect
vibes
all the
down.
pieces.
Do you guys have any questions for me?
What's the craziest answer you've gotten on a podcast?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So it wasn't like, so this was when I had like my last podcast with my old friend. And I interviewed a narrator, Joe Arden. I interviewed him. And we were talking, Joe Arden hates cats. I come to find out. And then come to find out, he's allergic to cats. So rightfully,
Double whammy.
he dislikes them. And I said, I can't exactly remember what I said, but I said something along the lines of my cat sitting on my face. And then, that just kind of spiraled into like a whole thing. And I was like, oh.
Love that.
I was like, I don't know what to do now. So, I mean, there haven't been too many like super crazy, like, things that people have like said. That's probably one of the more like out there ones that I had. In that podcast, I had to bleep out so much in that podcast.
It just went downhill quickly.
I was just like, oh man. He was just like, F this and F that. And I was like, Joe, I love you so much, but I have to bleep all of these out. But it was totally worth it. But yeah, that was probably the craziest thing that anyone's like ever said on the podcast. Cause I was just like, and I didn't even like, you don't mean it like the way that you say it. Like I had just gotten my cat and, cats don't know anything about personal space. They're just like, oh, hey, what's up? And he'll just like be like right here. And I'm just like, oh, he's like sitting on my face. And he's like, um, I was like, I'm sorry. I wish I could take it back, but I cannot. It's already out there in the universe. I'm so sorry.
I've already said it.
I
Can't put
already
it
said
back
that.
inside.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, yeah, that's what's the craziest question somebody's asked you guys doing an interview?
Oh.
I got the food combination question. What's your weirdest food combo?
Oh, I got that question too. And
Ooh.
I said macaroni and cheese with ketchup on it, and then I got like roasted because that's not weird apparently, and I thought it was.
I don't think that's that weird.
No, not really.
I mean, I don't like ketchup
See,
particularly.
everyone says that's not weird, and I'm like, I've never seen anyone else do it.
They probably
Do I
don't do
just
I
not
do it
know
at
the right
home.
people?
they probably don't do it in public.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
uncomfortable when
it's a
they're like
secret
in the
shame.
kitchen.
Your secret shame inside the fridge, putting little bits
Mhm.
of ketchup on your mac and cheese.
If I'm standing in front of the fridge, I'm like inhaling whipped cream from the can. That's what's happening.
Ooh.
You know what I love? I love cold pasta that's been in the fridge, and I'll just eat cold pasta.
I like
Like,
I like cold French fries. Like like McDonald's French fries, but put them in the fridge so that they're cold and like waxy. That's it freaks
but they
my
get so
husband out.
hard. They're
I
so
love them. I
hard.
love
How do
cold
you
fries.
eat
That's the
them?
best like feeling in my mouth. I don't know.
All right. What a sound bite. Cold fries. Best feeling in
Just
my
like that
mouth.
feeling in my mouth.
I'm a texture eater, apparently.
Hey, that's okay. Hey, no, more power to you. I could not eat cold McDonald's French fries. I would vomit on the spot. Like I get upset when they're not salted. So like I couldn't imagine eating them cold, salty
I
and
get upset
cold.
when they're too salty too. Like they
Yeah.
have to be like prime, perfect temperature, like just out of the fryer. If they've waited a little too long, they're inedible. They're gross. But Jen would eat them
I eat them
apparently.
at all stages, doesn't matter. Room temperature, hot, cold, whatever. I eat
She's an
them.
equal opportunity French fry eater.
Is it just McDonald's fries though, or is it all fries?
No, it's pretty much all like they have to be pretty sad fries for me not to eat them later.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Wildest answer I've gotten. Cold French fries. That's crazy. I've never heard anybody say that before. But you know, hey, to each his own. To each his own. I used
Don't
to
kink shame Jen. She
I
just
would
likes French
never.
fries.
I would
and
never.
and yet cold pizza is like gross to me. I don't know.
What? You're
I know cold
so
pizza,
fucking
cold
weird.
chicken, like the things people normally eat in front of the fridge. No, but
I,
yeah, cold is.
there's not a lot of food that I like cold. I don't like pizza cold. Like if my food is supposed to be hot, I want it to be hot.
Mm.
I can't like I it's like a weird like and for like people I have so many friends who love iced coffee. My coffee either has to be
Mm.
hot or it has to be like a frappuccino. Like don't give me a cup of coffee with ice in it. I will lose my mind.
Like
You're like,
it
I
has to
want
be
it
a shake.
blended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I want a coffee smoothie and that's not what you're giving me. I think my weirdest food combination, it was when I was in high school, so I was going through a phase, okay? Was and it was also when I would be having my lady time of the month. So my dad was a huge Wendy's Frosty person,
Mhm.
and he would go to Wendy's and get chocolate Frosties, and I, as a child, loved hot Cheetos. So I would dip my hot Cheetos in my chocolate Frosty and murder it, and
That is disgusting.
it was
People eat
so
fries
good.
frosty, so I understand. I don't like hot. Like I'm not a spicy person, but I
Yeah,
can see the appeal.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I can't do that now because tummy, but like I'll drink like a big slushy from like Speedway. That's like the
Mhm.
red and blue slushy, and then I'll eat like a bag of hot fries to go with it. Chef's kiss. So good. So good.
God, now
All
I'm
right.
hungry.
Ha, I
Right.
know. I'm like, what do I have in the fridge? Well, pork. I'm gonna go eat that. Or I have one tamale left. My friend's mom made tamales, and she was like, my mom made tamales, and she told me to give you six. I was like, your mom thinks I'm gonna eat six tamales? That is very nice of her to think. I've been eating them over the past couple of days because I ate two and a half on the first day, and I was like, two was enough. I don't know why I thought that I could eat. I don't know
You
why I
pushed it
thought I
too
could.
far.
I don't know why I thought I could eat three. I got to that half point in the third one, and I was like, okay, wait. I was like, I don't think I can do it. I can't do it.
Choices were made.
Choices were made. I did not regret them at all, but we learned.
The limit
Important.
is two.
Where can we find you guys on social media?
You can find me at Beau__Lake on basically every social, or you can go to linktree.com/Beau__Lake. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads, and I think that's it. Facebook, you know. And you can also find me on the Eerie Travels podcast that I produce. And those are all my places.
You can find
Jen?
me at authorjmpaquette.com and then at Linktree author JM Paquette. And then I do Facebook and yeah, all the not nearly as many as Beau because I'm lazy. Some of those.
I mean, just because you have all the socials don't mean you actually
Yeah,
use all
doesn't
the
mean you
socials.
use them all the
Right.
time. Like, it's
There's
mostly
just
Instagram for me, honestly. Like, it's the best one.
yeah, I think most people are using TikTok and Instagram right now, so
Yeah.
I get it. Okay, we know where to stalk you guys on the socials. I think that is all that I have for y'all. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Again, I was here with Beau Lake and J.M. Paquette from Four Horsemen Publishing. I will include all the links to all of their things in the description below. Beau, Jen, you guys are my new best friends, and I love you so much. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
This was awesome. Thank you.
Now I gotta go
Absolutely.
watch Teen Wolf and
Right?
maybe have
You're
some
gonna be
cold pizza.
angry.
I'm gonna be so pissed.
Just eye candy.
Literally, that's really just what it's for. It's the eye candy. It's not really. I mean, some of the plot is pretty decent, but like a lot of it, you're just kind of like. "What?" And Dylan O'Brien, you get to see little baby Dylan O'Brien, and we love him.
He is handsome, so
He, he's
I'll
really
give it a
grown.
shot.
Yes, you should. And I mean, honestly, Tyler Hoechlin alone is really that really sold the plot for me.